As in this timeline, Vox fired and destroyed the gates, and he was going to give his 24-hour warning, but then he realized something. There was a voice inside his head telling him that he needed approval, telling him that he needed to be the best. But Alastor was just using him. Everyone was. Why do this? Why wait? Why take over heaven when you can just destroy it? Solve the problem forever. So, he would blast again. As he decided to destroy heaven right here, right now. He could take it over, try to become God, but why bother? He already pretty much rules hell with Lucifer captured. And with heaven destroyed, he could just take over hell and turn into his own heaven. After all, what's the point? Vox would say, to make sure that heaven doesn't attack us ever again, to make sure our people never get wiped out, we are going to obliterate it from the sky. Now, I don't know how powerful that cannon was. It probably didn't have the power to completely destroy heaven, just wound it. That's my guess. But for this scenario, we're going to say it completely obliterates heaven, just destroys it, as heaven falls from the sky, and everyone there dies, except for one. Lute was able to make it out. As Lute managed to escape heaven, she would go to hell. She was already going there, disobeying orders, so when it destroyed, she was alive. She was shocked to see everything she worked for, everything she thought for, die, and this made her go into a blind rage as she saw sinners, anyone in her way, and began to kill them, slaughtering them. As she slaughtered sinner after sinner, fueled with pure rage, with pure hatred, wanted to get revenge, wanted to destroy hell itself, but she knew she couldn't do that. But she would find Vox, and she would destroy him. As we cut back to Vox and Alastor, Alastor would feel one deal broken, as Vox was now even more powerful, even without Charlie admitted it, because, well, she didn't really have to admit it. Since that Vox destroyed heaven, his popularity skyrocketed. Everyone saw his might. Everyone believed he was strong, and that belief made him stronger. And that's why Alastor hated him so much, because he relied on others to give him strength, and that reliance made him weak. He was going to exploit that, but that backfired. As Vox would say, you tried to sabotage me. I don't know why, Alastor, but you just like to sit down and be a little B-word. But I don't care anymore. You're my trophy, and heaven is destroyed. Even if you succeed, and I fail now, at least I did something. Alastor would say, I'll admit, Vox, that was pretty badass. As Vox would say, yeah, but wait, what? Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, you're still totally pathetic, but you achieved something that no one else could achieve. Out of pure luck, but still, you'll be remembered at least. Vox would say, that's the nicest thing you said in a while. I'm going to take that backhanded compliment, as he started to dance. As Vox would then say, now it's time to take over. As Alastor would say, yes, but to take over, you would need an endorsement, like from a princess. I mean, I guess you could just take it by yourself, but that would just be so pathetic. Oh well, too bad Charlie would never endorse you, Vox would say. You bet your bucket she will. As then Vox would call Charlie, as Charlie had tears in her eyes, as she knew what happened. Emily died, Sarah died, Sir Pinchas died. Everyone was dead. Where will souls even go now? Will they all just go to hell? Is heaven impossible now? So many questions, so little answers. As Charlie would begin to shake, tears filled her eyes. She would say, what do you want, Vox? To gloat? To laugh about the genocide you caused? Vox would just say, no, none of that. I want to get your endorsement. If you don't, I won't give you back your father. Charlie would then say, where do you want me to meet you? As then, Vox would say, meet me in front of everyone. I'm throwing a party to celebrate the destruction of heaven. As then all the overlords showed up, including Camilla Carmine. As she was shocked. She thought he would just use it to invade heaven, not just destroy it. What will happen to all the souls? What will happen to hell? What will happen to everything? That weapon makes him a god. And she created it. It shouldn't have been that strong. Why was it so powerful? She had so many questions. So little answers. As these little answers bothered her. And they filled her mind. She did it, though. She protected hell. There'll be no more wars. Heaven will never strike again. But was it worth it? The billions, maybe even trillions of lives lost. and all the magic and wonder in the world destroyed, and the balance destroyed. Who knows what will happen to Earth now? Much less hell. It's all so different. As the party continued, all the overlords sat down, scared of Vox now, and this fear gave him more power, as Alastor was shocked. Alastor had his little contract with Rosie destroyed way too soon. Alastor thought if he got free, would he be the strongest again? With all this approval, with all this new power, he didn't know. And Vox was even looking for a way to tap into the cannon and give himself that power directly. If he could do that, absorb that into his body, he can just take over all of hell. As the day kept getting worse and worse, Charlie would walk in herself. As Charlie walked in, she would stare at Vox, and Vox would stare at her.
Vox would say, "Come on now, endorse me. Why don't you do that?" As Charlie would look at Vox. As Vox and Charlie walked up to each other, Alastor thought this is a stretch, but maybe this will work. As Alastor would say, "Charlie, why don't you hug Vox?" Charlie would say, "What now?" "Remember?" As Charlie remembered the deal she made with Alastor, as then she would hug Vox, only for Vox to hug back, confused. As he put his hands on her, he was then free, as Alastor got up and say, "Whoa, that was a bit scummy of me, but a deal is a deal." As Vox would say, "What? Remember? I said you couldn't lay your hands on her, but I didn't hurt her. Hands. You hugged her back. You put your hands on her." Vox would say, "That's really the dumbest thing I've ever heard," as Alastor would just start to laugh. "Well, as much as I hate to admit it, it seems you're stronger than me now." So then he would grab Charlie and disappear.
As Alastor disappeared with Charlie, Charlie would look at him and say, "Alastor, what are you doing? I needed to go there to save my dad. He'll never give you back your father. Besides, I have a plan how to get rid of him." My plan was to manipulate him and cause his whole approval rating to crash. But he decided to go rogue and just blow up heaven. His two colleagues hate him now and won't talk to him. But he's so powerful and so popular, they can't get rid of him, so they're stuck with him. However, that means he's isolated, so we can assassinate him.
As Charlie would say, "How do you plan on doing that?" Alastor would say, "He's isolated. He is by himself." As Alastor would say, "That's perfect, and I have a few friends and an enemy that could actually help us." As Charlie would go down, she would meet with Camilla Carmine, Vaggie, and someone else, Lute. As Lute walked out, Charlie would say, "Is that you?" Lute would say, "I was rogue, going down to hell to collect data for an invasion, to defend ourselves. But something happened. You see, I am tired of this. Heaven was destroyed. Now I will destroy Vox, even if it takes my eternal life." As then, Alastor would say, "That's good. Now here's the plan." As they all discussed it, it was time to enact it. As we cut to Vox sitting alone, he no longer had to rely on anyone now. But did he really want this? Velvet, Valentino, they don't really talk to him anymore. He was just there by himself. He felt sad. Maybe he should apologize. Without Alastor being around him, he's way more cool-headed. Maybe now he can actually, he can just talk to them. He got up and began to walk around until he heard Alastor laugh. As he turned around, he would say, "Hey there, weakling." Vox would say, "What do you want?" Alastor would say, "You've gotten stronger, a lot stronger. But is it really enough? Are you even worthy? Let's find out." As then he would start to run away, Vox would chase after him. "This is clearly a trap," he would say, as he hit a button, summoning a robot shark. "But I don't care. Watch my back," as he charged after Alastor and fight him one-on-one, as the shark would look around with great vision. Alastor would continue to fight Vox. Vox was winning. As suddenly, Lute would charge in, flying, as the shark would jump up and grab her, pushing her to the ground and begin to devour her. As Vox would laugh and say, "I've won! I've won!" Your shark's just as focused as you are, focusing on one person instead of the whole picture. Pathetic. You would have won if the shark was smarter. As Vox would say, "What are you?" As suddenly, Camilla Carmine Charlie would stab him with an angelic spear. As he fell to the floor, he would die. Vox was dead, heaven was destroyed, and no one knew the future of hell.